godfather of the virus drill. Shout out my boy, DEMEGODTV.
It's Wave God in this motherfucker. Hey, shout my nigga Demi T though.
Got the song pop like I'm Iggy. All they talking about is last night like I'm Demi. Say you got.
Rupees donated $5. Damn ski pulled the Michael.
Let's see what the
What's up, Dean TV, Dean Nation, Dean Family, Dean Gang, Dean Family, Dean Mafia? Today we're doing a reaction video to Can You Fix Climate Change? We're gonna see how we can fix climate change and we can like reduce some things from happening and like hopefully like reverse the effect of climate change, you know? And if you're new to the channel, it's educational, so get your education on. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, and share the video on all social media. Comment below what reaction we'll do next. Check out the Dean TV clothing merch in the description box, so we'll copy some heat and drip, you feel me? Roll to a 50K, 100K, a million, and the bill, so click the subscribe button. Let's birthday as a family, as a nation. And no further ado, let's get into this reaction.
Never before in human history have we been richer, more advanced, more powerful. And yet, we feel overwhelmed.
Kinda, sorta, in a way, yeah.
In the face of rapid climate change.
Facts, cause like unpredictable and people acting like, oh, I should do this, that, and the third, and not knowing that it's hurting the planet. It's like people just so selfish. They don't care about the planet. They just like, they just selfish.
Seems simple on the surface. Greenhouse gases trap energy from the sun and transfer it to our atmosphere. This leads to warmer winters, harsher summers. Dry places become drier and wet places wetter.
I guess that's why it'd be so hot in freaking Arizona and Florida, huh? And all other places. Especially in Boston and all the other places. I guess why it's be cold and extra cold for no apparent reason.
Countless ecosystems will die while the rising oceans swallow coasts and the cities we build on them. So what?
That's literally how it is in Florida, like the ocean, like literally coming in a little bit.
Don't we just like
every time we have a storm? It's crazy.
Well, it's complicated. The public debate about stopping rapid climate change often focuses on a few key features like coal plants, cars, or burping cows. And so the solutions are often simplistic. Rows of solar panels, biking to work, something.
But people ain't gonna do that. People, that's too, how can I say? People gotten so spoiled that they ain't that thing right there, you riding a bike and doing something that's right, doing something that's gonna make you exercise and good for you. Ain't gonna think about that. People.
Sustainability. And a huge talking point is personal responsibility. How you should change your lifestyle to prevent rapid climate change, which we'll find out together in the next few minutes.
Cause I be trying to tell people like, I be telling people about this. They be. I think people just weird or ignorant or just don't know shit or just don't read sometimes. Cause it's like, bruh, if you actually know, you wouldn't say shit. You would agree to, oh yeah, let's come up with an idea.
We first need to understand the problem.
Let's come up with an idea to stop this. That's oh, I do something, you do something. Yeah, like help the community.
A fuller picture. Modern industrial society, as we constructed it in the last 150 years, is inherently destructive to the planet.
Yeah.
Basically, everything we do to make our lives easier, safer, and more comfortable is making things worse for the biosphere.
Facts, cars, these, what you call that? Factories that shooting gas up into the sky. And like, bro, it's so much stuff that we use currently that damage the world. And I'm glad I don't have to be a part of that, but I want to help the, how can I say, planet Earth. If you know my name, it means Earth lover. So yeah.
The food we eat, the streets we walk on, the clothes we wear, the gadgets we use, the way we move around, and the pleasant temperatures we artificially create around us.
Facts.
While most people know about the serious
hey, yo, I use a fan though, I can't cap.
Impact of energy, beef, cars, and planes, many major polluters are barely ever talked about. The emissions leaking out of landfills are as significant as the emissions of all the jets in the air. More CO2 is released to run our homes than...
So you telling me when you flying on a plane, it sends more shit out than a waste? Bro, that's crazy.
from all cars combined. And the emissions produced when making a new car is equivalent to building just 2 meters of road. So it is nice to switch to electric cars, but they won't solve anything if we keep building roads the same way. Fixing one small part of the industrial system is not enough.
So we gotta change everything with it.
Each of the many different parts needs its own solution, and many of them aren't straightforward. But even where we know what to do, just because a solution exists doesn't mean we're able or willing to implement it.
True.
There are many grey areas in the fight against
Some people just so attached to the
rapid
things.
climate change. The most prominent one is the divide between rich and poor. Emissions versus poverty. There is a clear connection between the prosperity of a nation and its carbon emissions. In other words, richer people tend to cause more emissions. So the key to fixing climate change is simply for the...
That's interesting. So it's like rich people. That's rich people problem that is climate change that's going on for real. That's crazy. Then it's like people that's in poverty. They trying to keep up with the rich people and be like the Jones. And it's like creating more climate change in this world. It's like a hamster wheel effect.
world's richest to cut back on their extravagant lifestyles, right? While this would help, it wouldn't make the problem go away. This is because 63% of global emissions come from low to middle income countries. Countries where most people are not living extravagantly, but are trying to escape poverty at worst and achieve a comfortable lifestyle at best.
That's crazy.
The unfortunate reality
That's the truth.
is that currently, escaping poverty and becoming middle class creates unavoidable emissions. So asking developing countries to cut emissions just looks like an attempt to keep them down. It's very hard to argue that a region should protect...
So it's like they too busy being capitalistic. They can't see the socialism world, huh?
their primeval forests and spend money on solar panels instead of burning wood when it can't meet basic needs for significant parts of its population.
True.
But cutting back is not a popular demand, especially if the countries making these demands got rich by causing environmental damage in the past.
That's real, because it's like, why stop something that's producing well and producing well?
So for billions of people, more emissions are a good thing, personally. When we forget about this, we tend to propose unworkable solutions. Take concrete. 8% of CO2 emissions are released by the concrete manufacturing industry.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Stop using concrete, right? But right now, concrete is also a cheap and easy way for growing populations in developing countries to build affordable housing. And there are many
So you use something else besides concrete shit.
examples like that. Even rich countries aren't immune from disagreeing about rapid climate change solutions. Banning coal, gas and oil from the energy mix is slowed down by heated discussions about what should replace them. Citizens can be strictly against nuclear power,
The only gas I be on is that, that gas, but not that
but also
gas.
oppose wind or solar infrastructure in their backyards. In principle, all of these issues can be overcome, but there are things we don't currently know how to overcome. The most problematic one is food. Emit or die. We will soon need to feed 10 billion people, and we don't know how to do that without emitting greenhouse gases. Because of the nature of modern food production that requires fertilizers or manure, it's impossible to have zero emissions food. Rice alone emits so much methane each year that it practically
I think I said this before in the videos. Make a garden. Have a garden. It's like you can create these things yourself and make it yourself. You just gotta have the mindset to want to do it or try to do it. You know, it's like if you got a family, friends, what family, friends, or somebody you trust, like what the kid. Build a garden, make a garden, like, so you don't have to go through stuff like this, you feel me? So you'll learn how to grow, and you will be good, you feel me? Like, get some seeds, you feel me?
equals the emissions of all the air traffic in the world. What's worse is that the foods we like the most emit the most. 57% of food emissions come from animal-based foods, although they make up only 18% of the world's calories and 37% of its protein.
Wow.
And as people look...
So what the other piece of what the other part, what other percent we supposed to be eating? The fuck? So it's get tucking out. So you telling us they take a portion of the meat out and give us some fuck shit? Bro, ain't no way.
Across the world
Ain't
grow
no
richer,
way.
they want more meat. Traditional diets in most cultures were primarily plant-based with a little meat on top. But with the rise of industrial-style meat production and factory farming, meat has become a staple food. A regular indulgence in developed countries and a symbol of status and wealth in developing countries. Today, about 40% of the world's habitable land is used for meat production in some form or another, the size of North and South America combined. This is land we could otherwise allow native ecosystems to regrow, like forests in the Amazon, and suck carbon out of the atmosphere, but instead, most of it is used to feed animals. The available solutions are uniquely able to make everybody on the political spectrum, rich or poor, unhappy. Meat is highly emotional, and there are a lot of...
So whoever in charge, they just ruining shit.
Aboutism arguments floating around, like comparing it to the worst sources of emissions. In the end, it's pretty simple. Eating less meat alone won't stop climate change, but we also can't stop climate change without eating less meat.
That's true.
The same holds true for other things that are less crucial to our survival, but frankly not realistic to make go away. Like air travel, overseas shipping, mining, and the production of devices that play YouTube videos.
But can't you just like create something like better and like better for other people? Because ain't that's like what improvement and development is?
So what does this mean? Do we need to give up our way of life, and can the poor never achieve it? Can't some technology save us so we can continue to drive our big cars and eat meat every day?
Should be.
Solutions versus expenses. In principle, this technology already exists. Direct air capture of CO2 draws carbon dioxide from the air so that it can be stored underground or transformed into products.
Underground.
So why aren't we implementing it in every industry everywhere? Because...
So you telling me some shit, stuff was underground, literally underground for real, and he just confirmed it. That's wild, bro. They just confirmed stuff. Like there's people living underground, family. This is wild.
With the technology we have right now, this would cost some $10 trillion per year, or half the United States GDP. This money has to come from somewhere, and currently no one is offering it.
It can't come from somewhere. The fuck, like, it's just money. Like, the U.S. government need to tighten up. If they want this something to happen, they'll tighten up for us. The fuck, like, they don't care about us. That's what it is. Like, it's money. Like, y'all can get that shit done. Boom. Because that's just money. That shit can get printed, replaced. Boom. Y'all can create more money. The fuck? Like, help the people. Care about the people. Like, don't y'all supposed to be for the people? Fuck, it's like y'all against the people. Y'all trying to help destroy the people.
Just dumping
Oh
these
my
costs on
God.
massive polluters like steel mills and coal power stations would double the cost of their products, and so these industries that operate on very tight profit margins would go bankrupt. Getting the government to pay for it seems logical, but a lot of state resources are actually tied up doing the opposite, like subsidizing oil and gas, which seems counterintuitive, but
So they too busy doing what's wrong, they rather do what's good. Okay, cool.
follows clear incentives. By artificially keeping fuel prices low, shipping and everyday goods are kept artificially cheap too, which has a major social impact on billions of people around the world.
Artificial.
That creates political lobbies and
So are we eating artificial product? What the fuck?
incentives that perpetuate a cycle that makes it so hard to stop fossil fuel production.
A cycle.
Meanwhile,
Cancel,
very
like I
costly
said.
solutions for a far-off problem, like carbon capture, seem like they can wait, as technically nobody benefits from it right now. Some argue that a move away from capitalism is the only solution to this mess. Others insist that markets should be even freer, without any interventions like subsidies, and some suggest that we need what's referred to as degrowth, and to cut back as a species overall. But the truth is, at least as of now, no political system is doing an impressive job at becoming
Not
truly
at all.
sustainable, and no.
Not at all. And it's gonna get even worse because shit, y'all think this corona shit? Bruh, nah, it ain't it. It's like we're gonna have some more shit coming because like y'all, I don't know if y'all read, but it's a lot of injustice going on. It's it's plagues. It's gonna be plagues coming out. And this corona, it's a plague. You feel me?
Have really done so in the past. We also
It's
don't
like
have the
when
time to figure this
Bibles,
out and do a lot of
scriptures,
experiments.
scrolls,
We
whatever you
must
wanna say.
implement solutions now. Not just to halt the release of all possible greenhouse gases, but also to start reducing the amount of CO2 in the air. It's too late to just mend our ways. We have to actively correct our past mistakes.
True.
With every year we waste, more extreme changes will be unavoidable.
Facts.
Okay, let's take it.
Because what if a great hurricane come or a tsunami or earthquake happen or a volcano's been erupting already, like a great volcano eruption that just destroy actually for real like states, countries, or who knows?
Breath. Rapid climate change and the world we live in are complicated. So here is where you, dear viewer, come in again.
Okay,
Could you please fix the climate?
I can try.
A narrative of our time is that we are all responsible for rapid climate change.
True.
That everyone needs to play their part.
Okay.
Why don't you buy a new electric car? Why don't you replace your gas stove with an electric one? How about you double glaze your windows, stop eating meat, and switch off your lights?
Double glazed windows. I know about those. Wait a minute, what he said?
Why don't you buy a new electric car?
Okay.
Why don't you replace your gas stove with an electric one?
Check.
How about you double glaze your windows, stop eating meat?
I don't know about that second part, cause it's like
And switch-
I don't even know what
Play
double
their
glass window
Why
is.
don't you buy a new electric car? Why don't you replace your gas stove
I just
with
got
an electric one?
windows.
How about you double glaze your windows, stop eating meat, and switch off?
I can stop eating pork and certain meats. You feel me? But it's like, bruh, I can't stop eating food. I can do that low key. I can stop eating certain meats. That's easy. That's pretty easy because I'm doing that now. That's really simple.
Your lights.
Especially fast food. I don't really eat that shit like for real.
Shifting responsibility from the largest carbon emitters to the average person, you, is much easier to do than solving problems. There's an extra bonus if solving rapid climate change sells a new product. If you don't have the money or time for these things, you should feel bad. It's an effective message because it's true. The quickest way to cut CO2 emissions would be if all rich populations on Earth drastically changed their lifestyles and if the people on the rise would not seek to achieve it. Favoring the climate.
Okay, so more to the story. The rich gotta stop doing what the rich do and humble themselves and come back down to reality. And the people who have poverty shouldn't be wanting to be like the rich. They should be like regular people. See eye contact, be equal. Be like, yeah, see you as my brother, like type of thing. Like, let's help the world, help the community, you feel me? Let's better it. Like, let's live healthier. Let's live like better lives, you feel me? Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, even physically. You feel me?
Over comfort and wealth. If you're able to watch this video, that includes you. But we've just witnessed a...
Yeah, so if you're watching this, try to help fix the climate change, you feel me? And like, let's be on the mission, you feel me? And let's create a challenge, like fix the climate change challenge, something like that, you feel me? Y'all, like, we do like doing things to help fix the climate change.
global experiment in staying at home, not using transport, and consuming less during the coronavirus pandemic.
I've been doing all those, so I'm good. I've been doing good for the climate. If you've been doing the same, clap yourself on the back or pat yourself. Clap for yourself, pat yourself on the back. GG. Keep doing these things, you feel me? Because the world is more than just about just living to just have fun. You feel me? Life is about living and being happy, you know, and enjoying it. It's like, how can you really enjoy something if things around you being destroyed? You feel me? Because if things around you being destroyed, you'll be along with them things being destroyed slowly also with what's getting destroyed. You feel me? Like, you are a part of the reason that's what's going on in this Earth, planet, world, whatever the case may be.
And all it did was reduce CO2 emissions by 7% for 2020. Asking average people to solve rapid climate change breaks down when we look at the scale of the problem. Personal contributions towards reducing greenhouse gas emissions are nice, but they are dwarfed by the systemic reality of global emissions. The concept of your personal carbon footprint was popularized by the oil producer BP in a 2005 ad campaign. Arguably, one of the most effective and sinister pieces of propaganda that still seriously distracts all of us from the reality of the situation. If you eliminated 100% of your emissions for the rest of your life, you would save 1 second's worth of emissions from the global energy sector.
Wow.
Even the most motivated person.
So it's like one person, that just 1 second. Hey, we're gonna need a group of people, a bunch of people to help out for this. You feel me? Because this is important for us to live. You feel me? Because if Earth become inhabitable, well, I butchered that word. Oh, you basically can't live on Earth. Oh my God, I butchered that word. I apologize. You basically can't live on Earth. You feel me? Like, we don't need that. And we go to another planet and gotta try that.
Make a tiny dent. When we put together the dangers of rapid climate change, the scale of emissions and the lack of consensus over how to solve it, the challenge seems insurmountable. It can cause decision fatigue and moral licensing where you no longer feel bad about behaving in a counterproductive way. We have struggled a long time with this, which is why this video took us so long to make. So, what can you actually do? There are many different takes, and they are passionately discussed. We don't know who's right, so we can only offer you the Kurzgesagt perspective.
So they saying, like, we can't say who's right for real, but it's like we can give y'all some like ideas or suggestions to help you out to start. I got you. It's a great channel.
Part. What can you actually do? We need a different way to think and talk about rapid climate change. An all-encompassing systemic approach, nothing less than changing the fundamentals of our modern industrial societies.
Facts.
As discussed in frustrating length, the personal responsibility angle is overplayed. For systemic changes in technology, politics, and the economy of this magnitude, we need to influence the people at the levers. Politicians need to know and feel strongly that the people care, that their own success depends on tackling rapid climate change.
That's facts, but these rich white folks or these black folks, they don't care about that. It's like they just forgot that shit in school. It's bump that. It's like they just forget stuff. They just forget where they come from, forget stuff like that. It's like, okay. It's like that freaking lady said, just shut up and play ball from Fox. And it's like exactly what they doing. They just shutting the fuck up and making their money and minding their business, and why they doing fuck shit that's hurting the people, hurting the earth at the same damn time. Like, bro, Dean family. These entertainers nowadays,
governments and local politicians are reluctant to change laws
the
that
ones
affect
that
their biggest
ain't on that
tax
yet, I
campaign donors.
appreciate
We
y'all.
need to vote them
Y'all
out
real.
and vote in people who respect science.
Facts.
We need to hold them accountable for implementing the most effective climate change strategies.
Facts.
Not waste our time with things like banning plastic straws, but by moving the big levers. Food,
Facts.
transportation, and energy, while not forgetting the smaller ones like cement or construction.
Facts.
When industries fight against changing their ways for fear of losses or in an honest attempt to protect their own, we need politicians to change the laws and incentivize the deployment of existing technologies and massively invest.
So, morally to the story, the people to blame is the fucking politicians, huh? Okay.
In innovation for the fields where we don't have great solutions yet. There's no reason that the profit interests of industries could not match the need to reduce carbon emissions as much as possible. And if they still don't cooperate, harsh punishments and regulation need to force or bankrupt them. It's still unrealistic that change of that scope can be forced.
It's like you still can change and still be successful. You feel me? Like adapt. It's like if these companies can't do that for the good, for the better good, for the world, for the us, for the everybody else, then what's going on? It's like money is not everything. It's like a legend said. A wise man once said, people are so freaking broke that the only thing they have is money. And that's freaking true.
Many low-carbon technologies still need a lot of time and research.
Don't be one of them
means
people.
They're expensive. But more companies will make more efficient carbon capture systems, tasty meat alternatives, better batteries, cement alternatives, and so on, if there's a clear and growing demand. And if you're affluent enough, you can do your part by investing in these things right now while they're still expensive. These are the mechanisms that will drive the prices down later on. So this is basically what you can do. Vote at the ballot, vote with your wallet. There are too many opposing interests.
So you gotta vote for a better president. Not just Democrat and Republicans, the only people you can vote for. Hope y'all know it's an independent party, you know? Yeah. Y'all should have voted for that. But y'all always fucking up. Always wanna be fitting in and shit.
And complicated gray zones. In the end,
it's like if you have a difficult politician in chair, it's gonna be difficult for people to actually come up and actually be successful. It's gonna be a slow process, fast process. You won't know, cause shit.
We truly get the systemic change we need. Everybody will be unhappy about some aspect of it. Only if we all accept.
Yeah, but people gonna be unhappy about stuff, anything. It's like, look at now. People are unhappy now, but does that stop what's going on? No. People still going on about their day. So if they can change this, they can do anything. Simple.
Some solutions will
they
have
just ain't trying to.
For us. Can we have an honest conversation and make progress?
Right.
Everybody will be a little unhappy, and that's okay. This is the best you can do. You can deal with the reality of the situation and promote your priorities through your behavior and your actions. And while you do so, you can eat less meat, fly less, or get an electric car. Not because you should feel guilty if you don't, or because you naively believe that you alone can stop rapid climate change, but to do your tiny, tiny part for the systemic change we need.
That's a great video.
This video was supported by...
This was a great video. I like it. Give this video a thumbs up. Go show this channel some love and show the version of the video in the description box below. See you guys next time. Love you guys. And let's try to help and save this planet. And hopefully reduce climate change and like spread the word about climate change, you know. And like let's better this world. Better the community. Better the environment, you know. Because we only got one Mother Earth. We only have one life, you know. And we got to leave an impact, a legacy behind. You feel me? For the next generation to look up to and live upon. You feel me? And be inspired to. You feel me? So yeah, Dean family, hope you guys like that, enjoy it. See you guys next time. Love you guys. I'm out.